Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a progress update on everything that I got done. I got back from vacation about a week ago, and this is the only time that I have had to cross stitch like at all, except for like 5 to 10 minutes here and there. I am out in my sunroom, so it's gonna be a little windy, but I want to enjoy the nice weather while I can. So on this one, I ended up finishing another strand on here. I did some of the butterfly there, and then I finished off that color on this flower here. And then I was going through and I wanted to see what this frog was actually going to look like. So I was just strictly doing the colors that I seen in there. So nothing too crazy on that one. I don't have the B one on me right now. It's actually in my car because I use it for when I don't have to drive and my husband drives me, because I am a passenger princess, mostly because he doesn't like the way I drive. So I work on that in the car. This is the bear one. I don't have the photo with me, but this is, I think today's day 14 for this. And I've only done like a couple stitches in here. As you can see, there's part of the tree, some leaves, the sky, and all of this from, I believe, yeah, almost right after the 50 mark over is completed. And with this, I am going to go to where it's folded on both sides here, and that is 1/6 of the way. It's just how the canvas was folded, so that's what I'm going to go by. So I parked 2 more threads down in here. I have these 2 parked over here, but I've been mostly going back through and filling in these random, because they are random colors. They're not all over they're like a couple here, and then they're like way over here. So I've just been going through and filling those in. And I think that's what we're gonna do today, because I do want to stitch a little bit more on this one. And if I have time, because I'm carving out the time to do this today, if I have the time, I will make another video of the frog one. I think I have everything over here. I don't have my pen, so I'll be right back. Okay, well, I went and grabbed my pen. I also went and grabbed the B. I didn't make it as far as I would have liked to. I lost a magnet somewhere. Ah, they're on my scissors. I don't have needle minders. I have tiny little magnets that I use that hold my needles on there. But yeah, so I didn't make it on as far as I wanted. I almost have this flower completed. With my sister-in-law being up there, I didn't want to pull it out while she was there, so I didn't get a whole lot done. And that's how this has now become the one that I drive around in the car with, so that way I can make some kind of progress with it. And then also, my daughter started working on a cross stitch. Well, I decided to give her a little bit of a boost and help her out a little bit, so I did. I think I worked on it for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, somewhere around abouts in there. Let it focus. These colors are very, very dark, very hard to tell what they are, but that's just the background. The whole thing is actually pretty, and it's bigger than the one that I'm doing for myself. It is a tiger with like a blurry background, a dark blurry background. But I was helping her out a little bit. She wasn't making it very far very fast. She gets frustrated when the strings get tangled up and stuff, so, but I ended up parking my thread there and was like, I'll help you. She did about 100 or so stitches on her own, and then I helped her out with the rest. you know, just trying to be a little helpful. And I also did what I said I was going to do and have each color a different day. It's kind of hard to tell that there's a turquoise in here versus like the blue. And then the blue's hard to tell up against the black. So it is going to be, because I am using this color today, I did do some stitches. That is this color. And then, oh, I think that's as far as I can zoom. Hold on. I'll bring it up to you. Okay. So, that is the color I did today. And that is black. So those are 2 different days. So, could have picked a better color. But that's fine, because I guess I'm really the only one who's going to want to know how many days that it took me to do it. I'm going to park a couple more threads and then we'll get to stitching. Okay, so I got a couple more threads parked. I'm not going to be touching these lower ones. I do have my paper cut in half, and that's just where the line on the front here stops. It's going to be a lot of switching colors, because that's how this whole thing has been. It's just been confetti. I did zoom us in a little bit more, lowered my stand. And for those of you who don't know, I do stitch in hand. So it's just a little bit more wobbly than most. But I have been getting better about it. Better about staying in frame and doing what needs to be done so that way you guys can see it better. And I still think I might lower it one more time once I switch these colors. It's like you guys can see a little bit better. So, as I was saying before, I kind of carved out this time to do this because I really haven't had the time to do this at all. I think last night was the first time, and it's because I was doing it with my eyes half open because I was overly tired. But I don't have a place where I can just set up my camera and leave it. So this is something I have to put away every single time, mostly because I don't want the table to get bumped. And then, you know, I'm always filming in weird spots too. Like sometimes I film in the living room, other times I'm filming outside. Right now I am filming in the sunroom. And because I'm filming in the sunroom, you'll probably hear my kids because they are home. My dog's going in and out of the dog door, that kind of stuff. And I carved out this time because I really haven't had any time, because we are doing a renovation on our house where we're making the garage into livable space. And so the last, let's see, that would have been 3 days, 4 days, somewhere roundabouts in there. I have been emptying the garage out completely, cleaning it up, so that way the guy on Monday, because today is Friday, so the guy on Monday can raise the floor so that way we can raise the floor and use it as livable space. We are also doing that in the sunroom as well. Of course, the sunroom is that one's a smaller step than the garage. And yeah, it's been a lot of work to get everything emptied and prepped so that way he can, it's my son entering and leaving, that way he can raise the floor out in the garage, because we don't want to have a step in our house. We want it to be just one level, and we're going to be doing that in the sunroom too. So that's kind of, I had to empty that out as well, which was a little less of a headache, and I already got the carpet that the previous owner had out here pulled up, so it was quite easy getting this room prepped. The garage was a completely different matter because we used it for storage, because our house is rather small for everything that we have going on. Just mark these off. So yeah, it was a headache trying to get that space cleared out, finding places for everything while we wait for the guy to do that, because the only thing he's doing is coming in and he's raising the floors and raising the doors, getting rid of the garage door and most of the windows in the sunroom, and then me and my husband will take over and do that. So it's going to be a lengthy process, but it's not one that we're shy to. We've done renovations at our old house. We've done a few smaller renovations here. This is the biggest one that we're going to attempt to do, because it's basically the whole main floor is going to be affected. So kitchen, dining, living, everything. But me and my mother-in-law were the ones who were basically prepping all the spaces and getting things ready while my husband went to work. So it's been a long and lengthy process. It's taken us, I don't know, I'm pretty sure this is day 4, and I have a few things I have to do today for it, but I wanted to be able to film for just a bit before I did that. Because I need a little bit of time to do something other than prepping, organizing, cleaning, and getting spaces ready. It has been quite the headache to do. So there was that one, and that one was the orange, which was number 26. Oh, I shouldn't have cut that. Pretty sure there's 26s down in that section too, but that's fine, you know. I'll get there at some point, I guess. I've been putting my most used colors in this section off to the side here, and when I know that I'm going to be coming back around to them. So, and I haven't ran into any tangles or anything yet, so I'm going to keep doing it until it tangles and I get mad at myself for doing it. Because that's just how I am. I hate having to find them on the ring and pull them off the sections and stuff. So I would rather work through a possible knot than have to search through the ring to get the proper color. I'm actually going to move the table real quick so that way this is closer to my face, but not any closer for you guys, so give me just a second. Okay, so I actually just took this off the table and have decided to put this in my lap. I need to get because I can focus my camera on a certain area, but then it still focuses on my hands. I need to figure out how to lock where I want it to focus. I am now working on the V symbol. As you can tell, this is a high traffic area, but I do want to, I watch my kids from the sunroom, obviously, so they can play in the backyard, and I get to enjoy the weather too without having to deal with bugs and such. But that also means the door is loud. But it won't be soon because that's being replaced as well. Most of the things are going to be replaced so that way they're less of an annoyance. That door specifically also has a dog door through it. And my dogs are both German Shepherds. They're quite large. My one dog, she has to duck down in order to fit through the door. So I bought off of Scamazon a new dog door that says that it's for dogs up to, I think it was like 110 pounds. She's only about 85 or so, but she's tall. Okay, so I got cut off and I don't remember what I was talking about. So if this doesn't line up, that would be why. I ended up having to get my dog a vet appointment. She's been limping, and they had her on stuff for arthritis. And she's not old. She's only 8. And they had her on some arthritis medication, and I noticed her limping again today. And now it looks like she has fluid sitting on that joint, so I'm gonna have to take her in to see what they can do. Hopefully they can give her a shot and kind of help with the pain a little bit, so that way she's not gipping around everywhere. It is starting to get windy outside. Hopefully it's not too crazy in the microphone. I only have one of the windows open, and it wasn't windy earlier. Now it just seems like it's, you know, one gust after another. So you guys will have to tell me if there's something that you're working on while I'm working on this. I love seeing other people's progress and hearing about other cross stitches, that kind of stuff. I always find it so nice when other people make huge amounts of progress. I'm going to try folding this a different way. I'm going to try folding it like I do with the B and see if that helps keep this a little bit more steady. And which one was I using? Not that one. This one. This one's just a lot bigger than I'm used to, so it definitely changes up the game here a little bit while I'm trying to film. Where was I? Oh no. I filled that one in. Let's see. Did 1, 2, 3, So that one. Don't mind me while I lose track of where I'm at. And even if I screw it up, who's gonna know but me, right? I'm gonna back this up just a smidge. Maybe that's why I'm having such issue. Ugh, you can tell I'm out of practice with filming. It's been a minute. Okay. That one, and then I am jumping all the way over to here, unless I guess I'll jump upwards. Jump up from there, and that would be right here. No. Why is that not right there? Okay, maybe I will jump down here, so that way, because I know this is where this is at. It'll help with my counting. Since I screwed myself up, I might have ended in the wrong spot previously. I think I'm gonna have to get some kind of clips or something for this, so that way I can fold it and keep it folded without having to like really hold it. But yeah, so I got to work on this quite a bit up on vacation, which was nice. And I kept track of the days. I didn't keep track of like the number of stitches or anything like that, but I kept track of the days, so I can definitely tell what days were less busy than others, because we do hang around the cabin, but we also go trail riding and we go visit like a little Amish village and that kind of stuff. So, you know, you can definitely tell when we sat at the cabin and I took the time to relax while the kids were on the beach and I was sitting in a chair. I also did, I think I mentioned it already, that I've read, I finished a book I was in the middle of reading, which was Hello Transcriber. That one was halfway decent. And then I read Incidents Around the House, and that one was pretty good. I'm easily entertained, so I mean, I can always tell if a book is good or bad or whatever. But the Hello Transcriber, there was a couple things that, you know, I really didn't care for, and it kind of ruined the whole book for me. I'm not going to spoil anything. And then in the Incidents Around the House, that one was pretty good. It was a quick read because it wasn't really like full pages. So, you know, that made it nice, and it was written from a child's point of view. So it was kind of cool to step in to a younger character's point of view with everything that was going on. That one's about like I guess you'd call it like a demon or an evil spirit or whatever, trying to possess her. So that one was pretty good. And then I started the book Hunted. I did not make it very far in that one because like I said, I worked mostly on my cross stitch, but I was reading books at nighttime when, you know, there wasn't much activity going on anymore, because I actually took this cross stitch to the beach while the kids were playing and would cross stitch on the beach. So that way, I got a little bit extra done. Instead of reading, I would do this instead, which was helpful to get the stitch count up. I think day 12 I had 2,000 stitches, and then I added in another like 150 yesterday. So I mean, making progress. It's slow progress, but it's progress. I would like to be able to do more than that on any given day, but especially with this being so confetti heavy, I don't think it's something that's going to work up quickly. There are sections, like the middle section, like where the bear's at, is a little less confetti heavy. So that area might go quickly. But I'm thinking I'll probably save that more towards the end. Because if the bear doesn't look good, I'll just give up. And I don't want to give up, not yet. So I might save the bear until last, so that way if the bear looks bad, everything else is done, and you know, then I'll feel like I've wasted my time, but I won't quit. Because I'm not sure how it'll look. It could look really good. But these Amazon kits are like hit or miss. And especially with this, I think this brand was like a sister brand to the AI generated frog snail one I got. So, you know, who knows how this is going to turn out, and the fact that the colors in the kit look different than the colors that you received in the kit, which I'm not complaining because I do like the muted colors, but does not lead me to believe that it's going to look overly good. And that's just because, you know, you're taking a gamble. It's not an expensive kit. It's not, and nobody had it done. Like a lot of the ones that I order off Amazon, like I like it when people post up like the partially done photos, so that way you can kind of see what you're getting. To make sure that it's halfway decent. And this one only had, I think, like 9 reviews. And they had like 40 different options, so you know, you don't know which one they're reviewing or anything like that. So I think once I get a lot of this done, like maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 sections, because I might jump down to this section or one of the lower ones, so that way I avoid the bear for a little while. I may post it up so that way other people can see kind of what it looks like, because the picture online is the colors are a lot more vibrant than this, and I like the muted colors, but I think if you're advertising it one way, where it's the nice bright airy colors, that's kind of what people are expecting, and that's not what you're receiving with this. Alright, so that would be here. If I can get it through. And we're just going to zigzag upwards. I really wish there was larger patches of color. Could go a little bit faster, but... And I have to tell you, I actually don't mind this being counted, because I do like that it has like the numbers and stuff on the outside and legend on the side and that. But I don't mind not having the stamps on there, because the symbols are actually a little bit more clear being on the paper. I think they had to be a little bit more precise because it was on paper rather than just stamping it onto the canvas itself. So, you know, I actually kind of like that. And this is correct. All right. And then diagonal one. I'm really trying hard to keep in frame and get all of these stitches without moving around too much. I mean, I wish there was a way, like, because I brace this up closer to like my chest so I can see it a little bit better, and I think that also helps me stitch a little bit faster. But obviously I can't do that with the camera. I wish there was a way that I could film it like in that way. There. These are the last two for this color in this area. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to jump up that far. The next section is up here, so that's a pretty far jump. I'm going to end this, and then I will stick it off to the side there for when I go toward the top. Don't mind my chickens. They must have seen a predator or something. They'll tire out eventually. Darn birds. Okay. So let's mark them off on this sheet. So I went all the way from over here, like that, and then I came down here. Yeah, they must have seen. I usually have like I have a hawk that likes to fly over. Sometimes it lands on the top of the chicken run pen because it can't get in. It's all wired in, and it just sits there and stares at the little snackadoos that it can't have. Alright, so there's that so far. I'm stopping, I believe that's on 82, so right here, right at this line here, I'm stopping there so that way I can copy the next section and kind of tape them overlapping a little bit. roosters, man. They don't know when to quit, do they? Alright, so what do we have here now? And there's that rooster, completely unbothered. Alright. I think there's just one problem bird out there now, and he's just getting everybody else all riled up. And this one is the triangle symbol. Okay. We're gonna pretend like we know what we're doing here. And I have no idea how long each one of these segments has been, so it's like, how much more do I keep filming? Seems like I got cut off more than normal, kind of like right before I took off for vacation, where I just kept getting cut off and it was like a never-ending cycle. That's what it seems to be this time too. That one is level. Okay. Just trying to keep myself straight. Like I said, it's a lot harder to do when I can't have it closer to my face. And I'm going to figure out some straps to hold the bottom where it needs to be so I can roll it. And I know that's what frames are for, but I don't like the restriction of having a frame on. I like to be able to pick this up and go. And the frames, you have to be able to stretch the canvas, and yeah, I'm just not about that life, so I'm just going to continue to live it where it's at. You can see all the dog hair that's gotten into these over the last couple of weeks. There's a piece right there. Snapped it. I don't really mind though. It's part of the process as dogs lay next to me and their hair just gets wrapped up into it. It's just extra special. Especially because this is like only for me, so it's not like it's not gonna bother me any. Okay, and then skip over to this one. Yeah, I think there was just one problem bird out there just starting everybody off. Because now they're all being quiet. And no one's even moved. Sorry, I'm just trying to get into some kind of zone here so that way I can get some of these stitches done. I was watching a couple other YouTube cross stitchers, and let me know if this would be something that would be interesting to you, is to have a stitch along, so where we can all decide on a specific canvas, and then whatever day of the week we choose, we can all stitch that piece together while we chat with each other. I don't have the ones that the others are stitching, but it would be nice to have a piece that maybe we can all decide on and work on together. I think that would be a lot of fun. See everybody's progress, see how far people can make it. Especially when you're not being interrupted every 5 minutes. I think that was all of them. No, I got 3 more. Don't mind me and my brain. Let me just make sure. Yep. I don't know how I forgot these ones the first go around there, but that's fine. One there. That one's there. Yeah, no, I'm right. I just wanted to be sure. I'm not really the best at counting and figuring out where I am. I tend to use shapes and locations off of previous stitches, which I know you're not supposed to do, but if I mess it up, I'm going to be the only one who knows that I screwed it up. And with these colors all being so close together, I don't think it would matter all too much if I screwed up a couple here or there. But I am trying very hard. Even like the singular stitches, just like the random one stitchers here or there, I have been taking the thread, doing the one stitch, and then ending it and restarting it in a different area. I've been trying to stick to this 100%. So if there is a mistake, it was not done on purpose. But I also like the fact that all these colors are such a subtle shift that you can kind of tell where it's going with the pattern. And everything's so muted and nice, and they all work together. I think that's why I was so excited to do this too, is because my last cross stitch was so dark, and then the frog mushroom one's pretty dark. My daughter's is really dark. And then the bee one is, I would say, relatively dark. Bright background, but dark. And this is like the only muted one that I have. So you can see what little progress we made here. Down in this area. My camera's been going for 27 minutes. So I'm going to end this string. And then we can mark these off. That is the red triangle, wherever that one may be. Right there, number 9. Put that in there because I'm gonna actually jump up in here after I mark these off. So it was all these little triangles. Okay. Well, with that, that is the progress that was made. And I'm going to call it good for now, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.